What's up, everybody? Brant Phillips, Real Estate Fundamentals. So today I'm outside of a rental property. This is a rental property I actually bought in 2007. I've had the same tenant for a very long time. So the tenant has moved out, and so we're doing a walkthrough of the exterior for a make ready to release or resell. We can do either, right? So I'm gonna show you what kind of we're seeing and what actions that we're going to take for the make ready. Why are we not doing the interior? Because the tenant didn't put the key in the lockbox, so we don't have access to the interior right now. So this is what we're looking for, the exterior of a rental property. One thing I want to say is that we renovated this property in 2007, right? That's when I first bought it. And a couple of things, right? When you rehab the right way and when you find the right tenants, like rental property can be really, really good. Like I had the same tenant for a really long time, and 13, 14 years. She didn't bother us that much with repairs, and you can see like the house is in decent shape, right? We replaced a lot of siding, did the roof and stuff like that. And so here we are. So what are we looking for? So when you start from the exterior, right, you always want to start from the street. My friend Brian is behind the camera. Brian, say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
So Brian's going to be giving me feedback also and asking me questions if I miss anything, or to clarify also of what we're going to do, because Brian also helps me manage these rehabs. So we're just gonna talk shop here, okay? So whenever we're coming up to a property, you really want to put your eyes in the future homeowner or the future tenant. What does the curb appeal look like? You know, we really want clean and green, right? That's the goal, clean and green. We're not really trying to blow anybody's socks off, especially in a property like this. Is like in a low-end rental property type of area, but we're still going to make the house really nice. How are we going to do that? First thing we're going to do, and as I'm recording this too, I'm letting you guys know I'm being very efficient, right? So I'm doing social media posting, right, for social media purposes. Number two, communicate with Brian, who helps out with construction. And number three, one of our virtual assistants is going to be watching this also. She's going to be taking notes. So I'm really talking to all kinds of people at this point in time. So right now, this is kind of a note for one of our construction assistants, is that we're going to pressure wash the home, the sidewalk, and the driveway, okay, and the front porch. So that's a note to our friend Jekka, who does all of this type of admin work for us. So that's the first thing we're gonna do. We're gonna pressure wash the sidewalk, the driveway, the front porch. Okay, that's on our scope of work. Number two, we're gonna do landscaping. Okay, with a flip property, we're gonna mow, edge, trim up the bushes. Obviously, the only other thing that we're gonna do if we're flipping this property is add about an 8 to 10 foot bed over there on the right side, a basic flower bed with 3 little $5 bushes from Home Depot, and that's it. We're done. Okay, in terms of other items of the house, let's start to the roof. The roof is in good condition. It's not perfect, it's not brand new. It's a little bit dirty, right? So houses, roof over time, they tend to get like this mildew type of thing that needs to be there. Doesn't mean you can just pressure wash it and clean it. I've seen rehabbers do that. I have done it a time or two myself. That's not what you do. It's not good for the roof. But we are going to order a roof cleaning. So they're going to get up there with a little basic. It's kind of like a steam cleaner that used for carpet, and they're going to clean the roof. It brushes it, puts a chemical treatment on it to remove the mildew, make it like sparkly and new. So we're going to do a roof cleaning. And we're also going to do a roof service. We're going to have our roofer go on there, replace missing damaged shingles, and seal around vent pipes and things like that, just to make sure that we don't have leaks, and if we go to sell the property, that the inspector will give us a good report, right? So that's the next thing we're going to do. Let's look at the next thing. Overall, the siding's in really good shape. There's some minor trim board. I don't know if you can zoom in or not, Brian, but there's some rotten trim board. So any rotten wood, we're we're going to replace it. The siding is good. However, at the bottom, as we get closer to the house, Brian can show that, there's weathering at the bottom of the siding. So we're going to put what is called a trim board, aka also known as a rot board, because it covers up rotten wood. So it's going to be a trim board. We're going to go a trim board. So we're going to install a trim board along the exterior of the entire home. Now, one little trick, and I know there's cars passing by, but I'm one little trick, whenever you install a trim board around the base of a home, rather than just putting like a 1x6 or a 1x8 that has a square flat edge, I don't really like that, because water can just sit on the top of that 1x8 and really just, you know, seep into the house, or just make the siding get weathered and be damaged. So we use that 1x6 or the 1x8 or the 1x10 or 1x12, whatever height that you want. This is probably a 1-to-8 area. 1-to-6 looks kind of small. I like a 1x8, 1x10. It looks kind of nice. But we have our carpenters, we have our framer guys, painters, whoever's doing that carpenter work, we have them cut the top at a 45. Okay, they cut the top at a 45, so as rain comes down, it flows away from the house. That makes sense. So you use weather treated trim board at the base, covers up the bottom, extends the life of the siding, and it looks great when you do it right. That's going to be sealed and painted. Okay, the next thing I don't like, this little front door covering. I like it. I just don't like the two 45 angled 2x4s. This is a busy street for middle of the day, I'll tell you that much. So what we're going to do is we're going to install 2 columns, just basically 4x4 posts. Install 2 columns there, and we're going to call it a day. Just a note from myself, Brian, our construction admin, I don't like these stones. We're just going to rip them out, kind of clean that up. Now, this front porch area, for rental purposes, it's fine. We'll pressure wash it and clean it. For flip purposes, what we would most likely do here is install an exterior tile to give it really good curb appeal. This is a really nice porch. Unfortunately, it's a pretty big eyesore. It's got these cracks. It's got some remnants that we've done foundation work in the past. That's not a good inviting feeling for a potential home buyer. So here will be covered up with tile. Like I said, we've got some just rotten 1x4s that are going to be done. We're going to install 1x4 trim around the base, replace any rotten wood. We're going to install the post here, a little bitty, a little bed right there, and everything's going to be pressure washed and painted. Not a big fan of burglar bars, but certain areas require burglar bars, so we would go ahead and keep that. The front door looks like it's in great shape. It was probably new. If we were flipping it, we would install a new exterior front porch light. So let's walk around to the back of the home. You just want to always be cognizant of rotten wood. I always tell, people that I've trained in the past, either students or construction managers or estimators, say look up, look down, look all around, right? So you want to look up, you want to look down and look all around and note any items that need to be replaced or addressed. And there's definitely some fascia boards that are here. Now here, let's talk about this fence. So we've got a chain link fence, and your goal when you're, especially when you're flipping houses, even renting houses, is you want to meet, not exceed your comps in the areas. Okay, the comps that you're looking to achieve similar pricing, you want to meet, not exceed them necessarily in your product, right? Because if you exceed them, if you spend above what is required, you don't know for sure if you're going to get that back. So one thing that I'm just looking at is this is kind of a chain link fence kind of area. So there are some wood fences here and there, but for the most part, it's chain link fences. Now, that being said, what I will do oftentimes, especially if we're selling a house, but even sometimes if it's just a rental, we'll leave the chain link fence if it's in good condition, but we'll install a wood fence, like a 6-foot picket fence here. So from the street, it has the appearances of having a wood fence, and it gives our homeowner or tenant kind of a little bit more security, right? You know, that sense of security and privacy. So that's something that you would consider doing here. All of this will be pressure washed. All of this will be painted. Wood repairs needed. Okay, little things back here. Obviously, the tires, the gasoline trucks, the dog house will all be addressed. Same thing goes for the back. Any fascia, wood, rot, siding, trim board is going to be addressed. The stones will be removed. Same thing with the back porch. Okay, if you're renting, it's fine. Pressure wash it and clean it up. It's fine. Call it a day. If it is a resale, I would spend a little bit of money on a wood deck or a tile to cover this up. Sometimes you've got tint film. We don't like that. That would need to be removed. Either way, even if you're renting it, something your cleaners need to do, they need to clean that off. We're going to make a note about the satellite dish. Now that I see a satellite dish, when the roofer comes out, we're going to remove that thing off. We're going to throw it away. We're going to replace those shingles to prevent sealing. There's another one there. And our roof vents that are there, we're not going to do anything with them. We're going to seal them, make sure they're fine, but we're going to paint them with a high temp black roof paint. Okay, another thing, these cable lines, we're going to get rid of them. We don't like them. They're an eyesore. So we're going to remove the screws. We're not just going to yank them out. We're going to remove these screws, fill them in with caulking, exterior caulking, and prep, and before we paint. Brian, it looks like we've got a random 110 volt wire there that needs to be capped, or I think I'd rather just install a floodlight there. Could be useful for them. Just looking to see if we have other lighting options back here. It looks like we do not, so that's a good place to light. I hate all these wires, these phone wires, cable wires. Most people don't even use a home phone anymore. We just rip it all off. We don't like it. It looks ugly and nasty, so we're going to get rid of all these loose wires. This side of the house is pretty good. One little note, it's typically the back side of the house that is the least visible and the least seen is usually the worst part of the house. This is an exception to the rule. This actually looks to be in the best condition of the house. It's kind of strange. So for the most part, my friends, that's an overview walkthrough of a rental property, make ready, or what could be a flip property that you're going to do. Those are just some of the things that we look at, things to consider when planning your rehab for the exterior of an investment property. Hope you enjoyed that. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you got value from this. Be sure to post some comments. Just give me a couple, thumbs up, little emojis in the comments. Even makes me feel good. Let me know if I can help you any way. Don't forget, if you've got questions, things you want me to address on the show, post it in the comments, private message me. I will do my best to respond to those. I love getting your feedback. I love answering your questions, helping you guys any way I can. Y'all enjoy, go out, take action, and we'll talk to you next time.